So R and RC firing circuits, that is the experiment. Okay. So now firing circuits for what? These are the firing circuits for SCR. For SCR, we need firing circuit. I hope you know that it's a semi-controlled device. So you need to fire whenever you want to turn on. You need to fire whenever you want to turn on. So you have this thyristor. Okay, this is anode, this cathode, and this gate. So you need to give some pulse through this gate. That's called firing pulse. Now, how you are giving the pulse is that you need some circuit to give this firing pulse. So those circuits are R and RC firing circuits. So of course, other than this, there are some advanced firing there, but for this laboratory purpose, these are the basic circuits, and the advanced circuits are even developed from these basic circuits only. So it's wise to study the basic circuits first. So two circuits are there. First is R, another one is RC. So we will take one by one first. Now the circuit diagram of this is looks like this. It's a simple than it's a very simple thing that it is something voltage is there. Some voltage is there. See here, this is the power circuit. The circuit which I have drawn is the power circuit. Power circuit in the sense you are giving some voltage here. Now you turn on the SCR, then the voltage will be applied across your load. The voltage will be applied across your load when you turn on the switch here. When you turn off, the voltage across the load is zero. So this is the circuit now. Now the question is that how do you turn on this and how do you turn off it? So that is the firing circuit. This is actually we are studying now. So what is the firing? R firing circuit is that circuit I will just show you here. So you will have two resistors like this R, RC. Okay. Then you have a diode. Then you have RG. This is going like this. So see this now. This RC is there, the variable one is there. So remaining R and RG are fixed. So they are fixed resistance. So you can vary this RC from 0 to its maximum value. So 0 to RC max. Okay. There in the, okay, I will show you the now, yeah, I will show you this RC. I will just show you RC and everything. So in the laboratory, what you find out in the kit is that in place of this RC is there. RC is, you have a knob. You have a rotating knob is there. There is a rotating knob is there. So by varying the rotating knob, you vary this RC value. When you vary this RC value, what exactly happens is that you see here when you vary this, what is the circuit diagram now? Here you have positive potential because this is a positive part is here, negative part is here. So now it's a closed path. I will show you a closed path here. You see this is a closed path. This is a closed path. So through this closed path, what is the closed path here? Voltage R, RC, diode. Now the diode becomes forward bias. Why the diode becomes forward bias? Because there is a higher potential is here, so diode becomes forward bias. So the diode will conduct. Okay, then through RG, then the signal here plus minus. This is anode, this is cathode, this is G. So across G and K, that is across gate and cathode, you are giving some current here. And now what is that current is that here you find out some voltage VGK. You can say threshold voltage of resistor across G and K. Then you apply KVL here. So when you apply KVL, then what is the current here? IG, I will write here. IG is equal. Just apply KVL. This is the voltage is VGK. Then V minus VGK divided by entire resistance R plus RC plus RG. Now we will consider this diode is ideal. If you don't consider this diode is ideal, then diode also has a small drop, that is cut in voltage, generally 0.7 or 0.6. Something like this you take 0.7, then it is minus 0.7. Just apply KVL in this closed path, then you can easily understand this thing, that apply KVL here, then V, R, RC. So three resistors are there. I put the three resistors in the denominator. Then what is the voltage here? Voltage is you have 0.7 VGK. So V minus 0.7 minus VGK is the resultant voltage. So voltage divided by the resistance, you will get the gate current. Now the question is that once you got this gate current, I hope you know using the gate terminal you can trigger your SCR. This you have studied already theoretically in the power electronics course. So you are sending some gate current. So this gate current value depends upon what? V is fixed value. That is already in the laboratory when you see there is a kit is there. So in the kit this V value is fixed value. So V value does not change. Okay, and VGK does not change. It is the property of the SCR that SCR generally gate cathode threshold voltage does not change. So it is also approximately from 0.7 to 1 volt. Okay, and the diode also its voltage also does not change because diode is also fixed here. So the numerator does not change. Only the denominator will change. In the denominator also this R value, RG value they don't change. They are also fixed. Only one value will change, and what is that value? Is that RC. This value will change because this value is given here even in the picture also. Now I will show you the picture also for our circuit. So even in that picture also there is a knob is there which is used to vary the value of RC. So in this entire equation only RC is variable. RC is the variable. Remaining all are constant. So if remaining all are constant, only RC is any one is variable, that's enough so that we can vary the IG value. So by varying the IG value, now I just recall this characteristics of SCR. Only the forward path I will draw. Something you will find out. This is one graph. This is another graph. So you got one graph like this, something like this. Okay. So this is VBO, breakover voltage. Here in this case, IG is 0. But when you increase the value of IG, then what you find out is that this graph slightly comes towards left side and it will join like this. So the graph moves towards left side when you increase the value of IG. So here this graph it is IG1, whereas this graph is IG2. So these are SCR characteristics. VAK. This is IA anode current. This is VAK anode to cathode voltage. Okay, so this voltage is fixed here. Now this IA value depends upon IG. Okay, this is the operation of SCR. So I hope you know this already. So by increasing the value of IG2 is greater than IG1. Okay, so by increasing the value of IG, you know the graph moves left side. It means it is turning on early. Okay, so how can I change IG here? I can change IG by varying this RC value. That's it. That's the resistance firing. This is called R firing circuit. So with the help of R, we will just fire the SCR and we will vary the IG also, so that for different values of IG, we will know ourselves what is the anode current. Okay. So now you see here. Now you see here. Now you see the picture. Now I want you to see the picture now. So will you please answer, is the picture visible now?
Visible, sir.
Okay, thank you. So please see this. Okay, the picture I would like to show as much as possible. So there is a switch is there here. 0 and 1 is there. There is switch is there here. So this switch, okay. Now behind this kit, you find out this thing. You find out this thing. So we will connect this to any 230 volts supply is there in the laboratory. So that place will connect. Once you connect this to that place, then you see you have to turn on this switch. When you turn on this switch, then you will know yourself that the power has come to this kit. Now this is written there. What it is written is that RC firing circuit. It is written. Okay. Of course, either you can use C here or you don't use C. That is optional. For the time being, we are discussing only R firing circuit. So in the manual where you find out RC, you see here there is RC is there here. You'll see there is RC is there. So this is the RC. You don't need to worry about this circuit diagram, but you see there is a knob is there here. There is a knob is there. Just vary the knob, vary this knob here. So when you vary the knob here, what exactly you are varying is that you are varying the value of RC. That's it. You are varying the value of RC in the knob. Okay. So once you vary the knob here, then we have seen theoretically the equations how it is working. Okay. Then as for that, we can go ahead. Now coming to load, there is a load is here. The load is here. So you can connect. You will connect this load. So as a rheostat, any rheostat in the laboratory or any resistor. Okay. Mostly resistor, I think. Okay. So yeah, it's not a matter. Okay. So there is a resistor is also there. Okay, I will show you the resistor here. There is a resistor I will show you here. Now this is the. I'm sure that you might have seen this kind of resistor. Okay, in the laboratory. This is a high power resistor. This is having some power. Okay, so some it is approximately showing 25 watt. You can see this in the laboratory also. You can see no problem. So it has some values. This is a resistor. So this resistor you connect across the load. There is a load is there here. Two terminals are there. Two terminals are there. This is one. Across these two terminals you will connect. Okay. Now you will see this these pictures you will see here. You see these two terminals. So using these two, we will connect to those terminals. That's it. It is connected. So one thing I will show you here in this. What is the job here is that only thing what you have to do here is that you vary this knob continuously. You vary this for different values of RC. You can note down the currents. You can note down the currents. Okay. You can go through the table. Okay, you can go through the table. So based on the table, you can just find out yourself. Okay. So what else is here left is that yeah, that is the only thing you will connect. Okay. Now you want to know the values, then we will connect the meters also. Okay, there we can connect the meters also based on the meters. Okay. So we will just go ahead. Okay. So now. Okay, now you see here. Okay, now I want you to go through the manual that what is the table is there, what do you find out in the table. Okay, so which one you will take and which one you don't take. And one more thing, you need what you need here is that you need some more basics about this SCR circuit. So just see this once again. I will show you this uh, thing here. Just see this now that what is this actual circuit here. What is this actual circuit? I will say this circuit is this circuit, the power circuit which I have drawn here, this red color structure, this red color one. Okay, this power circuit. What is this one? It is something like this one, something like this. So you have the load here. Okay, so for example, if you have AC here, instead of having DC, if you have AC, then what do you find out if you have DC, if you have AC here? Just see the power circuit. Only the power circuit you see. It's nothing but half wave rectifier. It's a half wave rectifier. So what is the output voltage of a half wave rectifier? If you recall, you have something Vm by 2 pi into 1 plus cos alpha, I think so. Okay, just cross check yourself. This is the output voltage of the half wave rectifier. So V load. Okay. So by knowing this load voltage, by knowing the load voltage, we can find out the value of alpha also. Okay. So now when we do this experiment practically in the laboratory, we can go further into the tabular values. So right now, just I'm just showing the circuit. What is the circuit? How it works, and how this kit looks like. And now you have this connecting wires also there. So I have shown you already one connecting wire. Okay. Apart from that, you may have some more connecting wires. I hope you might have seen these kinds of connections somewhere, maybe in the control system laboratory. In the control system laboratory, they have this. You have these connections also. So you have connecting wires also. This kind of. So it's not a big problem. Then we will do one thing that we'll go to another kind of firing circuit. Okay, so that is RC firing circuit. So RC firing circuit, you have a capacitor extra. That's it, and many things are very same. So first I will draw the power circuit. The power circuit does not change at all. It is very same. Power circuit doesn't change. It is very same to the previous case. But here the control circuit, that is the firing circuit, will change. So what is the firing circuit is that? Let me draw the firing circuit. So this firing circuit you can find out in your manual. Okay. I'm not drawing anything new here. Just manual you can find out there itself. Yeah, one thing you should think why there is a diode here. Even in the previous case also, there is a diode is there here. What is the necessity of the diode here? The diode is here. What is the necessity of the diode here? Why they connect a diode here? Just without diode also we can send the current like this. We don't require any diode. Just replace the diode with a line or with a wire. Then also the current will flow through the gate terminal. What is the purpose of this diode here? Why do we conduct the diode unnecessarily? What is the reason behind is that we don't want the current to flow in the opposite direction. That's the main purpose. Because when we have the diode in this direction, you know very well the diode conducts from anode to cathode. It cannot conduct in the opposite direction. It cannot conduct. So sometimes, sometimes, okay, so there may be a possibility that the current may flow in the opposite direction. So to stop this conduction in the opposite direction, we connect a diode like this. If you don't have a diode, just a wire is there, then the current may flow in the opposite direction also. It depends upon the voltage difference and remaining things. So that is the main purpose of conducting the diode, to restrict the current flow in only one direction, that is this direction, only this direction. The current has to flow. So for that purpose, we put the diode there. Now coming to RC firing circuit, what do you find out in the RC firing circuit is that, see, you have the supply here. Here you have so many closed paths are there. So this entire mathematics I'm not going to explain, but the logic I will tell you here. See this now. There is a closed path here. There is a closed path. In this closed path, you find out a voltage source. You find out R, RC, C. So we can say this thing that you have a resistor, you have a capacitor like this. You have a resistor, you have a capacitor like this. What is the advantage of RC firing circuit over the R firing circuit? Theoretically, you might have studied somewhere. Okay, I'm sure about that. So there is one main important thing. So that derivation I'm not going to tell. Okay, using the R circuit, I will tell you. When R circuit is there, what is the necessity of RC firing circuit? You must get this question. What is the necessity? That in R circuit, see, alpha value is there, firing angle. You can vary only from 0 to 90. Whereas in case of RC, you can vary from alpha from 0 to 180. That is the difference between R and RC firing circuit. Okay. So, so this is the main difference, that the firing angle you can vary from 0 to 90 only in case of R circuit. Whereas in case of the RC circuit, we can vary the firing angle from 0 to 180. So this difference is there. So how do we prove this? I want you to go through the corresponding textbooks. You go through some equations, you will find out, and some derivations you will find out. So based upon those equations and those derivations, you will know yourself that yes, we can vary the firing angle here from 0 to 180. Okay, so now how do we do all these things is that, one thing I will tell you that I hope you have seen the CRO in the laboratory also. So there we capture the waveform. Okay, so I will just we'll just see that later also. First, you just see this explanation. Okay, So this is the main difference. Here the firing angle is 0 to 180. In the previous case, it is 0 to 90 only. Now you see how it works. How it works is that this is the closed path. So now whatever may be the value of RC, this capacitor will get charged. This capacitor will get charged. So you are giving some voltage here, then this capacitor will get charged. Okay. Then this voltage will be applied across this. So when you apply this voltage here, what do you find out? This diode becomes forward bias. So you can consider this is another closed path here. You can consider VGK and the current flowing into the gate terminal, I will take it as IG, and this voltage I will take it as VC. So this is one closed path. This is second closed path. Okay. So in the second closed path, so we will not worry about the first closed path because we worry about the second closed path because the gate current is in the second closed path. So what is the KVL if you apply here? VC is equal IGRG, okay, minus VGK. Yes, this is. So using this, we have IG is equal VC plus VGK by RG. Now you see here. So VGK threshold voltage that is decided by the thyristor itself, thyristor design itself. Whereas VC is the voltage across the capacitor. Now, how do you get the volt? How do you find out the voltage across this capacitor once again? Yes, you can. This capacitor voltage is VC, whereas this voltage is V. So you apply KVL here once again. You can apply KVL here once again. Then what is the current flows here in this case? Now one more thing you must understand that the diode cannot conduct in this direction because the diode is reverse biased. So this diode D2 is reverse bias, whereas this diode D1 is forward bias. You must understand this thing that when the gate is conducting or when the SCR is on, that is when you send the gate current, when you trigger the gate of the thyristor or when you trigger the thyristor, this diode D1 is forward bias, whereas D2 is reverse bias. So the current will flow like this. I will show you like this that the current. I will take another color here. So the current will flow like this. This is one path. This is another path. So the diode will conduct, whereas this D2 will not conduct. This is the thing you must remember. When the current is flowing like this capacitor will get charged. Okay. Now how much it gets charged, it depends upon, once again, you can apply KVL here. So if you apply KVL here, then V minus VC by R plus RC. Now this RC is the variable one. Remember now. This is the variable one, RC. So that is equal, I will take this current as some IC. See, just it's giving numbering, nothing else is there. So you don't need to worry that where is the capacitor current there. Just I'm giving some number there. So V minus VC by R plus RC is equal to IC. Then once again I can write VC as okay, I can write capacitor current IC C dVC by dt. Now, you substitute this. So use these two equations. Then it's a first order differential equation. Then obviously VC will be something like this. That some voltage we can take. You recall the RC circuit. This derivation I'm not going to tell directly. I will write the answer. V1 minus e power minus P by RC. R value here R plus RC. This you will get here. So based upon this RC value, when you vary RC, I want to tell only one thing. When you vary RC, your VC will vary. When VC is varying in this equation, VC also varies, so IG also varies. So what is the logic here is that when I vary the value of IG, you know very well that the triggering will happen early or triggering may be delayed. Okay, so how do you do that? In this mathematical equation, you vary VC. How can I vary VC here? If I want to vary VC, I will vary RC. So if I vary RC, VC will vary here. That is the logic. So how do you vary RC? That is in your hands in the kit you see. In the kit you have this rotating knob, just now you have seen. So by varying the rotating knob, you vary RC. So VC will vary. So IG will vary. That's the logic here. Now I want you to just think yourself, or you go through the textbooks, basic textbooks you go through about the firing circuits. Why in this case of RC firing circuit, the firing angle is between 0 to 180, whereas in case of R circuit, why it is only from 0 to 90? This answer you will get from the textbooks. Okay, that's your job completely. Okay. Now I will show you now. Now please see this picture here. In this picture, you find out this the yellow color terminal is there. There is yellow color terminal. So there you have a symbol of capacitor. See, so you connect the capacitor there. The capacitor is available in the laboratory. You may see in the laboratory also when you come to college. So there you connect the capacitor C there. That's it. And everything is same. So this RC you vary once again. Okay. This circuit or this setup which you see in the picture, that setup is for both R and RC circuits. Okay, for both R and RC circuits. Okay. Now practically you will see yourself that the firing angle you can vary by how much in case of R and how much by in case of RC. These are the main differences. Now one more thing I will tell you that how do we know the waveforms here across the load? Across the load, this is the two terminals are there, red color terminals are there. So what we do here, that these two terminals you will connect to any CRO. You will connect to any CRO. I'm sure that you might have seen CRO in the previous laboratories also. So you connect the CRO probe terminals to those, then you can capture the waveform. You can easily capture the waveform. I hope you know this thing that what is the output voltage waveform when you are varying the firing angle that you have seen when you vary the firing angle here, something like this. The output voltage I'm drawing now. Output voltage will be something like this. Okay, so your input voltage will be a sinusoidal waveform. You just take like this. Then the output voltage will be something like this. Output voltage will from you have some firing angle. Then this. Okay, then you have another. Okay. Oh, sorry. Sorry, this comes in the positive side only. That's it. Or you see yourself, is it a halfway rectifier or full way rectifier? I told you halfway rectifier. So you won't get this part also. Only positive part you will get. Then once again, second cycle, you have another part. This kind of waveform, I'm sure that you will see in both the cases. In both the cases, you will find out this kind of waveform. Okay. So this is output. So V load. This is the V load. This is V supply. So you can capture these waveforms using CRO. I'm sure that I don't need to show the CRO in the here now in the picture. So you know yourself already you have seen. So there you connect the terminals.